Hey guys, here at the Outdoor Retailer in Denver. For those of you that don't know, and I didn't before this week, there's a show in Denver that is everything outdoor. So if you're a retailer and you supply the outdoor market, chances are that you're here. It's a pretty amazing array of stuff, from shoes to vehicles to bags and everything in between. Some are big booths, some are small booths, some are all kinds of stuff. But this afternoon we're going to be talking to the Outdoor University. We're going to be talking about finding common ground, which relates to outdoor recreation and everything associated with that. So I'll give you a little glimpse of how big this place is. It's pretty interesting. Right there. Now that's just one section. There are multiple floors and levels and all kinds of stuff. So we'll add some of my talk as we go here, but I'm really excited about the prospects of bringing recreationists and collaborative forest management together to understand how we can create value for both. This is the entrance and the displays that are up here. They're pretty cool, especially if you're into Jeeps and that kind of thing, campers, other outfitted vehicles. There's a Mercedes Sprinter van on the other side, but pretty cool. This is just the entrance, and then as we go up here, I haven't heard how many visitors are going to be here, but this is quite a show. Here's a pretty awesome climbing display by North Face. They're the ones using all the 2x6s and lumber in here. I'm here because one of the missing links in our collaborative is recreation. And we believe that we can collaboratively come up with a plan to manage our forests that will generate receipts, that will allow us to fund recreation of trail systems much more effectively than we can now. And we'd really like to have the recreation community at the table while we collaborate on these projects, so we can really generate, the concerns, the interests that are out there, and do the work while we're out there managing the forest. There's no reason for us to go manage the forest with equipment that's capable of building trails and helping do things that are focused on recreation and not do it, or to have to come back and do a different project just focused on recreation.
Places where outdoor recreation is a growing part of the economy and of huge importance to the citizens and the visitors who come to these states. They have to play a part of the table. Farm Bureaus also, whether you know this or not, I've already looped you in. But travel interests as well, and we'll have to expand into trees. But I think really the point is making sure that we've got different interests at the table to have these conversations is something that my office is, this is of utmost importance.
I think if I asked my grandmother, who was born on Navajo Reservation in 1930, about the outdoors industry, she'd kind of scoff and say, well, everything's for the outdoors. And we got by without Gore-Tex or anything like that. So I think the native impression would be, why do we need all this stuff?
And where I'm from, two different outdoor industries. I see the motorized outdoor recreation folks, and they're all kind of at their camp. And then I see all the folks that are doing mainly non-motorized, but there's a major division, especially where we're at, between mechanized and wilderness. Because we've got some groups that really, their main focus is wilderness in certain areas, and there's some developed mountain bike trails. And you can imagine that people aren't really excited to abandon their favorite recreational places. So there's some conflict, which I find ironic and sad, because the interests are so common and so close between the mountain bikers and the hikers. I actually had a TED Talk where I talked about this, which is a pretty great opportunity, was the difference between focusing on your interests versus your positions. And I think as groups, we all did a really good job over the last couple of decades of really defining our positions and forgetting about the interests that created them.
My perception, or our perception, is there's a third group of outdoorsmen, and that's farmers and ranchers. And farmers and ranchers are responsible for growing the food that we eat. You know, there's an old adage that is, you know, you need a doctor or a lawyer at least once in your life, but you need a farmer 3 times a day. You know, we were in the big scheme of things, we work very much in concert in the outdoor industry, whether it be hunting, gaming, guiding, hiking, trails, or otherwise. Farming and ranching was the original stewards of the land. There's a huge opportunity for folks to kind of mend fences, as you will.
What are you doing for rural economic development? Who are you working with? And I was thinking a little bit about this panel, and we should be working together because we are the, you know, I think the major industries in rural economies, and we're not trying to supplant each other, but I always talk about we're trying to supplement. Sometimes there's boom and bust cycles in a rural community. Sometimes there's a drought. Sometimes there's, you know, fire and the trails are going to go away for a couple years, or the forest is shut down, as we were seeing in Durango. So how can we work together to collaborate to help rural economies and really, I think, focus deeply in some of these communities?
Discussion about the rural-urban divide and what can we do to make sure those rural communities and the people that live there have the same opportunities as we do in urban communities. Good trails to ride on, access to the public lands is a really important part of what we are trying to do across various agencies of the state.
Obviously, Indian country is largely rural, and the opportunities that exist for different tribes across the country are very diverse, but I think the one commonality that you see in Indian country is a value on human capital and building up the skills of your future generations, your next leaders. And it's something that Indian country does really well in some areas and not so well in others. We're great about training our artists and more recently our lawyers, because we had to, is training their youth in different areas, whatever it might be that their niche advantages. So I think maybe that's I don't know if the Farm Bureau has a tribal internship program. They could probably use one.
Just wrapped up the outdoor retailer. It was 3 levels full of all kinds of stuff. Engaged a lot with the people in the booths today. I'm glad that I came and enjoyed the show, but more importantly, I'm really glad that I had a chance to interface with the Outdoor Industry Association and the recreation community, because we have an amazing opportunity to get together with recreationists and collaborative timber management to really build something together that allows us to manage our forests, create better recreational opportunities, and really, more than that, get a cohesive voice when it comes to Congress and our elected officials and leaders. So people understand that there is a solution where there's timber, there's protected backcountry areas and wilderness, and there are recreational opportunities, not just for hikers or bikers or motorized recreation, but everybody. We have an abundance, and just on the Forest Service alone, 193 million acres of forest land. If we can't figure out where everybody can do things out there to enjoy our public lands, that doesn't count the Department of Interior and the Bureau of Land Management, then we've got a problem. And right now we have a problem because we're not enjoying them. Forests are in bad condition, bad forest health. And we have a recreation system that's quite frankly falling apart in most places. We have campgrounds that are in disrepair. We have amazing natural resources out there. And it's about time we come up with a program where our communities and the public give us a social license to manage them appropriately. And in turn, we support those systems, the recreational systems and all other types, to really turn it into something we can be proud of. It's world class. And I'm excited that we started this step here, and hopefully more people feel the same way and we can create a movement to really do some amazing things.